My name's Siobhan. I'm going to talk a little bit about student support, and I'm going to start with the same theme, and we're going to talk about accommodation to begin with. So there's lots of options available for accommodation. Yes, lots of accommodation options available. So you've already heard about Beechcroft, Crown Place and All Saints Green from our lovely student ambassadors there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about other options that are available for you. The first one I'm going to tell you about is living at home. So it is possible for those who are like local students and living around Norfolk or Norwich to continue to live at home. So you don't have to go into halls or live in the private sector if you don't want to. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you next about private halls of residence. So in and around the city centre, there are many privately run halls of residence that are available. One of them is Crown Place, which you've heard about from Tangi. So essentially we have some rooms allocated that we give out to students in their first years. If after your first year you decide you want to continue living there just like Tangi has done, then you apply to that through the company that run them, which is called CRM Students. There's many different options around the city available for privately run halls, and you can contact them, and information about them is available on the private sector housing list. The private sector housing list is included within the applicant portal, and you will get access to the applicant portal once you've made NUA your firm choice on UCAS. So you make us the firm choice on UCAS, you then go onto the applicant portal, and that is where you'll see the private sector housing list, and you'll see more information about the private halls of residence that's available. And one example is Pablo Franco, which Tommy was talking about earlier on. As you were just hearing as well, another option is about shared housing in the private sector. So some first year students, whether they're in year 0 or year 1, do decide to go straight into shared housing within the private sector. And essentially that is when you rent a house or a flat directly from a landlord. So just like the privately run halls, there is a private sector housing list, and that's where you'll see all the flats and the houses that are available to rent from a landlord. And we have a sharers list, and on the sharers list you can sign up to it, and once you've clicked onto it and signed up to it, you'll see other applicants and their contact details where they're looking for other people to live in their house or flat alongside them. And there's lots of houses available in and around Norwich, just like you would as you were just hearing just a moment ago. The city is sort of divided up into different areas. So we have the Golden Triangle area, which is to the west, the Silver Triangle, which is to the north, so that's where Beechcroft is, and the city centre, which it sounds like Tommy is living in at the moment. And you were hearing about after your first year of studies, most students do go on to live in the private sector, either in private halls or in renting from a landlord in a shared house facility. Matt, our accommodation officer, he helps students to find accommodation, and in January of each year we help all continuing students to look for somewhere to live within the private sector, and we run these events with the Students' Union. So when once you're a student, you'll have access to something called the intranet, and on there is a housing list, just like the one you'll see on the applicant portal, that will help you to look for it. So in addition to accommodation, there are lots of other things to think about before you get to university. And the first thing I'm going to sort of tell you about is all about communication. The university will communicate directly with you as the applicant. We won't be able to talk to any of your friends, parents, siblings, carers, and we will be communicating directly with you. Most of our communication will be done via email or the telephone, so please do try and get used to answering phones and emails so that you can get as much information from us as possible. The applicant portal I've already mentioned, so once you've made NUA your firm choice on UCAS, you'll get access to the applicant portal. On there are various tasks that you need to complete, as well as that housing list. So do have a look on that applicant portal if you get given access to it. Finances and budgeting I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Other things to think about: where to live and what to bring, which you've already kind of had lots of information about this morning, and getting support for additional needs in place, I'm going to talk about later on. So finance. Students apply to student finance for funding for their maintenance loan and their tuition fee loan. You'll see the words means tested banded around a lot from Student Finance England. What that means is how much you can borrow depends upon your household income. So the adult or the adults who you usually live with at home, they will send information off to Student Finance about their income, whether that's their salary or their benefit income, and then how much they earn would then affect how much of a maintenance loan you get. So students complete the first section of the application, and then the adults that you live with support the application. So all students who are studying at university for next year are entitled to the tuition fee loan and the student maintenance loan. So that maintenance loan is the loan for your living costs. And we've broken down how much you will get. So the loan of £9,203 is available for those students who are living away from home. So that's for students who live in halls or in privately rented houses and flats. And then the loan is £7,747 for those who live with their parents. You may have seen already that the London loan is slightly higher, and that is because London is a more expensive place to live. And as you've already heard, Norwich is a really reasonably priced city, and lots of the rents are very affordable. So in addition to those repayable loans from Student Finance, the university also offers non-repayable bursaries. Bursaries are for those students who have a household income of less than £25,000 per year, or for students who have been care leavers or who are estranged from their parents. The amount you get is kind of varying throughout the year. So in the first year and year 0, you receive £200. In year 2, you get £300, and then in year 3, you get £500. And the bursary is intended to be a contribution towards your study costs, so towards printing costs, materials, and on a portal, an academia portal. In order to get the bursary, you must be attending and engaging with your course. And then there's additional student finance funding available for those who have children or other dependents. If you have a child or you have caring responsibilities, then you apply for the additional funding for that through the student finance as part of the overall application that you complete. And there are also scholarships available. They're usually based upon academic performance. At the moment, the various scholarships available are detailed on our website, on our main NUA website, so do check that out and you can find out more about it. And then once you're a student here, as scholarship opportunities become available, you'll receive emails about them throughout your studies. Many students have to top up their student loan for their living costs, and how they do that is through part-time work, contributions from family where possible, and also many students have an interest-free student bank account, which they can access an interest-free overdraft through. There are also additional grants available. The first website that you can look for additional grants on is called turntous.com. You go onto that Turn to Us website and you put in information and details about yourself, and then it will tell you if there are any additional government grants that you're eligible for. And there's also the postgraduate funding website. Even though that's called postgraduate funding, it's a bit misleading because you can apply to it as an undergraduate. The university PIN number is 5589. So you put in our PIN number, it will, again, just like the Turn to Us website, ask you various questions. You fill in the information and that will come back and tell you if you're eligible for any additional grants. Turn to Us and the postgraduate funding website take a little bit of research on your part, and it can take a while to kind of chow through the website, but we say it's definitely worth doing, because there's lots of different grants and funding streams that you may be eligible for that you wouldn't want to miss out on. And budgeting, lots of students haven't had experience of budgeting before they get to university. So here are just some examples of some really great apps and some websites from the Money Saving Expert, Money Dashboard and the Money Advice Service. And on there you can put in what your income is and what your expenditures are, and that can help you to make sure you have an affordable budget to live off whilst you're studying. There's additional financial support available from the university, and the first one I'm going to tell you about is the Financial Support Fund. That's a pot of money for students who are accessing all available funding and find themselves in unexpected financial hardship. It's something that students apply for, and we assess students' eligibility using national guidelines to make sure that it's fair. And then if you're awarded money from the Financial Support Fund, it's non-repayable. We also run emergency loan schemes which are repayable, and that's to help when students have a short-term unexpected money shortage. So for example, if your student finance payment is late, or if you have an unexpected expense, you can apply for an emergency loan, and then that would be something you'd repay, for example, when you get your next lot of wages if you've got a part-time job, or when you get your next loss of your maintenance loan. We have a designated student support officer who helps students with finances, budgeting, making sure you're accessing all the money that you're eligible for. Her name is Nikki, and she can be contacted on student.finance@nua.ac.uk. So there's lots of things to consider if this is going to be the first time you live away from home. We recommend students kind of have a recipe up their sleeve or a few recipes up their sleeves. It can be a really great way to meet your other housemates or the other people you're living with in halls, coming together and cooking together, and having some basic living skills as well, so like knowing how to keep your flat clean and your kitchen clean, because as the guys were saying earlier, your rooms aren't going to be cleaned by a cleaner in halls. And what to bring, we kind of had a question about that a bit earlier, and as summer approaches we'll be putting lots of information on our Instagram page about what sorts of things to bring, but we always recommend, just like Dan was saying earlier, to bring things that can make your room feel like your room and nice and comfortable. So those house plants, pictures of people who you love, pets and people from home and stuff like that. We also offer disability support within student support team. There's something called DSA, which stands for the Disabled Students Allowance. You can apply for DSA through student finance if you have any additional health conditions or chronic illnesses or a specific learning difference such as dyslexia or dyspraxia. So you apply for DSA for additional funding from student finance, essentially to prevent any health condition from impacting upon your studies. It doesn't give you money directly, the DSA, but what it does do is it pays for support to help you access things that can help you to manage your health condition. We have a designated disability support advisor. Her name is Julie, and she can be contacted on disability@nua.ac.uk. And just a quick note about dyslexia. Many of our students are diagnosed with dyslexia. If you already receive support for dyslexia in school or in college, that won't carry forward, and to receive support for it, you do need to apply for DSA. So that's for that additional study skill support or some additional printing cost support. So you must apply for DSA for that dyslexia support to continue. And finally, from us, you can keep in touch with us throughout the summer and whilst you're applying for universities. You can email us, follow us on Instagram and our Facebook page, and you can keep up to date with our latest news and that what to bring package and stuff. Thank you.